I'm Don.
I'm Lachelle.
We are Morrison Madness.
Yes, we are.
So, if you couldn't tell, obviously, if you're just listening to the podcast and not watching it on... I couldn't hardly hear that.
You're deaf.
And not watching it on what?
You're deaf.
Not watching it on YouTube, you can't see that we're wearing our ugly sweater, sweatshirt, and shirt. Because this is our... Christmas episode.
Yeah. I don't know what we're really talking about for Christmas, but it's Christmas. Christmas is this week when we publish this.
I don't know what we're talking about either, but you said you wanted to do a Christmas one.
Well, yeah.
So I don't even know what we're doing for Christmas this year.
I don't either. We could talk about how the way that our Morrison Madness works since we've been married. We got married in what year?
13.
Oh, good. You do know. 2013.
Wow.
And we had a tree that Christmas. We put up a tree. We celebrated Christmas with a big Christmas tree and decorated all the whole 9 yards. And then the next year, we didn't have a tree for some reason. And then in 15, we had a tree. But in 16, we did not. So there's something to do with, since we've been married, that only the odd years do we have a tree. So this is a year for a tree. We have to have a tree or we're going to break the tradition.
Okay.
So we still have yet to put the tree up. And it's just shortly after Thanksgiving when we're recording this. But yes, so we have to have a tree. That's part, it's just, that's been the tradition.
I'm fine with it.
I'm not sure why that's the tradition. Because it's not.
We didn't have a tree last year?
We didn't.
I could have swore we did. I thought we put the little tree up on the end table at the end of the couch.
Yes, because I wanted to put up the big tree and we never got around to doing it.
Oh, so we did have a tree. We just didn't have the big tree up.
That was the first time we've ever had even a tree up.
Okay.
And yes, that little tree is like 2.5 feet
Not
tall.
the first time we've ever had a tree up. You just said
on an even year.
Okay, yeah, on an even year.
But that tree is literally like 2.5 feet tall. It sits on an end table. I don't count that as a Christmas tree. Like it's not the big tree that you put the presents underneath that you spend time decorating as a family.
I don't count you as a wife.
I know you don't. Because I am.
You don't
more,
count it as a Christmas tree.
I am more
that doesn't even
than
make
a
any
wife.
sense. Did it have ornaments on it? Did it have decorations on it?
What decorations and ornaments were on it? You don't even know.
Yes, I do.
You don't know. Look at that face. You don't know.
Do.
What were they?
Danish.
Yes.
What do you mean I don't know?
You know why you know that?
And then what color were they? They're red and white. I know exactly what they were.
And why? Why do you know that? Because those are the only decorations we have for that size tree. We don't have many decorations for that size tree other than the Danish decorations.
I thought that we had Danish decorations for that tree because I was Scottish and you were South American. It's because you're Danish.
Yes.
Yes, I know what the whole thing with the tree is. And you guys would put it on the floor and you'd dance around it and chant and cast spells.
Well, it doesn't have to be on the floor. My grandmother had a table with a tree on it, but then the tree ended up being like 8 feet tall because it was sitting on the table. It was like a 4-foot tree.
I know all about your heathen barbarian ways.
We would dance around the Christmas tree and sing Christmas carols.
And chant and cast spells. I know.
Anyway.
Light candles. That's where the pagan tradition came from. And then the, Roman Catholic Church came in and said, no, we're going to roll this into Christmas.
I realize that.
Make it something that it's not.
So tell me why we only have a tree usually on odd years.
Probably because on the odd years was the years when I would have the kids.
Nope.
For Christmas.
Nope.
Because the house was not clean on the even years.
Yeah, that's pretty much. That's really the only reason. Because the whole thing wasn't a matter of we didn't have the kids that year, so we weren't celebrating. Because we celebrate Christmas on not Christmas Day. If we don't have the kids, we still would celebrate. Most times. There was one year that we didn't celebrate any of the holidays until Christmas for the whole year. And then we celebrated all of them at once. And we didn't do that until January. Because we didn't have the kids that Christmas. There's a Facebook post about it on my feed.
I'm aware.
But anyway, usually when we put up the tree, like the kids would help. It was a whole family decorating thing. And yeah, it was only on the even years that we would have a tree.
Odd years.
Yes, thank you. Odd years. Only on the odd years that we have a tree.
You keep jumbling this whole thing up into something that's...
Sorry.
So part of it is we don't ever know if your parents are coming.
Right.
Mainly because of the weather, not because your parents don't tell us.
No, right.
Like they've planned to come and then
Right. Two
snowstorms
years ago, they
happen.
planned on coming, and Dad got sick. He had a cold, flu,
Right.
whatever. And
Or
so
a
then he didn't
snowstorm
come.
happens, or an ice storm, or some other thing.
Yeah.
So, and then my dad has passed away 5 years ago, but even before that, he never really came down for holiday stuff.
Nope.
And the kids are gone to their other moms every other year. And then now all of them are grown and out of the house, except Grace, and she spends most of her time at her mom's house.
Right.
So, I mean, if we're decorating this year, we're decorating solely for us.
Yes.
I mean, we think that your parents are going to come. Not 100% sure.
Yes.
We're not planning on having a big Christmas with a giant meal and 10 guests and all of that kind of stuff.
Well, not the guests. We might still have the meal.
We'll have a meal, but not a giant meal. We're not going to cook a turkey and a goose and a duck and a ham for 3 people.
Just the duck or goose, probably. Just
Yeah.
one, maybe both.
Yeah, well, no, not
Maybe.
for 3 people. No, I can tell you this already, because your parents won't take it back with them. It's not happening. We don't have room in our refrigerators. You can have one or the other.
Okay, well, we'll figure that out.
All right. And once you decide which one of those you want to have, I will go buy the prime rib, and that's what we'll have.
Oh. Yeah, no. And part of the reason that so that's a big family tradition of my parents, is that they would have duck and goose for Christmas. So.
See, and before we got married, I thought you said they like to play duck, duck, goose, or I wouldn't have got into this family. There's a whole nother thing that I had to find out the hard way. It's very confusing.
Oh, shoot. So, and again, we had that discussion with the Thanksgiving episode that for me, the food is a big part of the holiday. If you don't have the big meal, it doesn't feel like it was the holiday.
And for me, it's not about the food. You could have any kind of food. You could have
Turkey Popeyes.
nothing but
right.
You could have nothing but hors d'oeuvres, nothing but snacks. It's the getting together with people and hanging out and remembering, fun that you had in the past and playing games and catching up on people's lives.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just that we would do that while we were cooking. That was a big part of it. So, or cleaning up or what have you. So food played a big role in that. So the food for me is a bigger thing than it is for you. So, but other than the tree, what other tradition things do we have? We have stockings.
Right. We do stockings.
When remind me, what, like, for your kids, did you do them first thing Christmas morning?
Yes.
Okay. I couldn't remember. Because that's when we did them.
Our tradition was that you would open one gift on Christmas Eve. And if we went generally if we went to my mom's house or to my grandma's house for Christmas, they got some gifts then. And that was usually on Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day, they had the stocking first. And then we would open presents later in the afternoon.
Presents?
Presents.
Oh, okay. It sounded like you said you opened presents.
Well, I feel like I'm losing my voice here, and I keep trying to take a drink and help it out. But
so, growing up for me, I always had Christmas Eve is when we opened all of our presents at home. And then we did stockings Christmas morning. And then we went to one of the grandparents' house and had the big meal and Christmas there. And we had more gifts there. So the gifts that were at home were mom and dad's gifts to us, kind of thing. Santa only ever brought socks. Stuff that went in the socks.
Oh, yeah, not at our house.
All of the other gifts were from people in the family.
I feel like we went to grandparents' houses on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, we went on Christmas Day.
We had Christmas Day was at our house.
And sometimes we would do like lunch at one and supper at the other if all of the extended family was in town for Christmas Day. But they live 15 minutes apart from each other, so it wasn't hard to do.
Right.
But if not, then we always went to at least one of the grandparents on Christmas Day, and then we would celebrate with the other grandparent when family was in town. And usually it was my mom's, because my aunts wouldn't always make it back every holiday, where my dad's sister always came back at some point. Sometimes it wasn't until January or February if the weather was bad or something. But she would always come back at some point to celebrate Christmas together in person.
So one of the big things that we have always done together, and I did this before too, we start buying Christmas presents right after Christmas for the next year.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
We don't do Black Friday. Like the last time I did Black Friday, I feel like was, I don't know, 12 years ago, maybe even a little bit more than that. I went with my sister, and I mean, I love my sister, and I enjoy going shopping with my sister, but Black Friday sucked. Everything that we tried to go and get was already gone. I don't enjoy spending my time running from store to store trying to get things, and then everything's already all gone, and it's a madhouse. You're standing and waiting in line for 30 minutes to an hour just to check out.
Right.
I don't want any part of it. They're not that good of deals.
No, and we might shop online over that weekend, especially like Cyber Monday and stuff. But yeah, rarely. We have never gone Black Friday shopping out to the stores physically. But we've shopped online on stuff to see if there's any big deal that we really wanted to get. But usually it was
we were looking to get a new tablet for our photo booth, and you were like,
right.
Oh, Costco has them on sale. Let's run out there. And I'm like, it's Black Friday. We're not going out there.
Right.
I have friends posting online. Don't even go anywhere near the mall. Stay out of Coralville.
Right.
Don't even leave your home. Act like it's a blizzard.
Yeah.
Hope you got milk and bread.
Yes. Yeah. So
we waited till the next day, and it was still busy, but I'll bet it was half the people.
Probably.
And we were still able to get our tablet. I mean,
yes.
The price that they had it on for Black Friday, they had it until the 29th, and so wasn't that big a deal.
Right. And we talked about just ordering it online, but then there was shipping costs, and it wouldn't actually get here until like January. So then I was like, well, that's silly. When we can just run out there to get it, we should just go out and get one.
So I know a big thing for you was decorations outside. And our decorations failed.
Yeah, they started dying.
And
I have a really nice nativity scene that I really like.
We looked for new ones that were similar to it. We can't find any. All we can find are the stupid blow-up ones that don't look like they would last for more than a couple seasons.
Not in Iowa with the winter
and the
wonderlands that we have here,
Yeah, and they're expensive, and I just don't want to have to deal with all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't. And then on top of it, you're having to run some sort of fan electric power. I don't understand exactly how that doesn't get wet.
Oh, it's in a case. I understand that. That's not that big a deal, but
yeah, to me, I'm thinking
we've decided that we're just gonna undo this is basically a nativity scene that's a frame, and then it has lights attached to the wire frame, and we're just gonna take these lights off that have burnt out and add rope light to it.
No, we're just gonna do regular LED. It has like a plastic thing around it,
Yeah, and we decided that would be more work than just putting rope lights on it. We're just gonna put rope light on it and put them on with the zip ties, because they're LED rope lights.
Okay.
And that would work better.
Sure. Yep. So, yeah, that was one of our projects that we were going to do this past summer, and I don't think it happened.
No.
So, and part of it is we forget to get the rope lights right after Christmas when they're available and on sale, so then we can do that later, and so we didn't have rope lights. So then when we had time this summer, I couldn't find rope lights for a decent price. They were crazy expensive at that point.
Yes.
So it wasn't worth it. But I was looking at some outdoor. We did a little shopping at Costco when we went to go get the tablet, and I found some snowflakes to hang outside. So it's not a matter, and this is a unique thing that I don't know that you know. It's not because we always decorated outside growing up, because we didn't. We didn't have outside decorations. We would go every year and go look at Christmas lights. We'd drive around and look at Christmas lights, and I always thought they were very pretty. And
we never had them because we lived out in the country. And have that kind of stuff. But I started doing outdoor stuff when I lived in North Liberty by myself and had a big yard and stuff that way. And so I was like, I'm going to get yard ornaments because I can. And the thing that I noticed was it made it seem not so cold. I felt like when I went outside with Kaylee, stuff that way, it didn't seem as cold outside when those lights were on, even though it is. The temperature didn't change. It's just a psychological impact that it has on me. And especially with us having the Star Entertainment and we're coming back late every night, I really like having lights outside. It just seems more welcoming. Makes sense to me.
And so it's a psychological thing for me that I really like having the lights up outside for that reason. It's not a tradition thing. It's nothing along those lines. It's more that it's just something. If I had to choose, I could only decorate inside or outside. Right now, I would decorate outside. Because inside, while yes, we're here and what have you, I feel like I don't really. Our house is a mess. So more decorations are just kind of more things in the way. It's more of a mess. And then it's, in the way in that sense. The only thing is that I like having the tree because I like having the lights on it. And again, it's that the lights just seem to make it festive and warm in that way. And that's what I appreciate. I'm not big into all the decorations everywhere. The only other thing that I really like is the nativity scene. I like to have a nativity scene up.
Well,
as part of the holiday.
Again, it's, I don't know when this is going to post, but it's the Sunday after Thanksgiving.
It's the Sunday after Thanksgiving. We're recording it. This will post the Sunday before Christmas.
We have the whole next week that we can get the living room cleaned up.
Right.
And then, it's not a big thing for us to put the tree up. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get a tree up this year. It's an odd year, so it's just destined that it's to happen.
and then maybe we can post some pictures when this.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we post this video.
Yeah. You can see the decorations that we hopefully have. And the outdoor decorations, because there's a couple things that I'm hoping to do outside, but I'm having to order them now just because we didn't get the other stuff done. But I want to have some lights outside. So, yeah.
Yeah. I know that one year, actually 2 different years, I feel like we did Christmas down in the basement because we had the fireplace going. And that was fun.
That was fun. I enjoyed that.
So I don't know that we'll be able to do that this year.
Probably not.
We need to get the fireplace cleaned. But
yeah, because I feel like a year ago we were going to, and then it
smoke came back into the house. Yeah,
right, it was plugged. And I don't think we've had a chance to get anybody. No. I don't think about calling anybody to clean it when it was nicer out.
But I remember going to my grandpa's. He always had a wood-burning stove.
Oh, sure.
And that's one of the things that I enjoyed about wintertime and the holidays.
Sure.
So, and before that, in the one house, he had a big fireplace. And
sure. Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like if the fireplace, if we used downstairs as an actual living room more often, I would be more apt to use that fireplace on a regular basis. I had a friend in high school that they had the electric fireplace kind of thing where it was still actual flames, but you just flipped a switch and it turned on.
That would be gas, honey.
Oh, a gas fireplace?
Yeah.
And
there aren't electrical flames. Well, there are, but you don't want them in your house.
It was an electrical switch that just turned on the fireplace. Right. But anyway, and I really liked that. And I'm to me, it's not a matter of having to deal with the wood, and I'm fine with a gas fireplace.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to a gas fireplace, but I do like the crackle of the wood.
Yeah, see, I don't know what they had in theirs that gave that crackle sound. So I don't know if there was some sort of thing running in with it that gave that crackle sound. So it made it sound like it was actual wood, but it wasn't.
Gotcha. So,
and that, to me, that if there was something that, we moved into a house, if there was a fireplace in the room that you're going to hang out in, again, I even talked about it when we moved here, but we never really used the basement to hang out in as a family. But if it was in a room where we'd hang out, like the main living room area that we'd hang out, I would want to swap that out and make it one of those gas fireplaces that has the sound.
They're a lot easier to take care of.
Yeah. I would use it all the time. And then there's heat, and I like heat.
So, again, this is supposed to be our Christmas episode. We don't have we're not going around showing decorations and all of that kind of stuff.
No.
So we just wanted to make sure we had an episode that was
about Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm really interested though in other people's traditions. Like, what are things that if X, Y, and Z doesn't happen, or if one thing doesn't happen, it just doesn't feel like a holiday to you. And it could be as simple as if you don't have a specific dish, at dinner or something that way. It just doesn't seem like the holiday. Even if everything else happens. That's where my question comes to our listeners. I want to know.
There you go. I would say the 2 dishes that remind me the most of Christmas are, my grandma would always make sugar cookies and frost them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like sugar cookies that aren't frosted.
Sure.
and then deviled eggs.
Oh.
Because sometimes we would have turkey, sometimes we would have ham. One year we had goose.
Right.
One year we had prime rib. We had different things. It never was a consistent. There were always deviled eggs.
Gotcha. Yeah, for mine it was grandma's stuffing. My mom's.
For Christmas?
Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter. All three. That was the only time she ever made it. We never had it any other time other than a holiday.
There you go.
So then that is a holiday food. It was weird to me that people would have stuffing at other times.
And I don't care what anybody else says. Eggnog starts in November and goes through January. It should go year round. I'm not sure why people think this is a Christmas drink.
Yeah?
This is a fall, winter drink that should go year round.
It's a good... I like eggnog.
So
I do. Yes. Although I tend to wait until after Thanksgiving to get it. And then I'm fine drinking it into January.
As soon as I see it in the store, I'm getting it.
Oh, and that would be the other thing. How long do you leave your Christmas decor up?
Usually until after the 1st.
After the 1st?
Yeah. I'm not one of those people that, Christmas over, you got to get that down.
Right. Has
Although
to be done
Christmas
before New
music
Year's.
has to be done at midnight on the 25th. Because they're starting that crap in October already, and that's just insane.
Yeah, I don't like that Christmas music starts before Thanksgiving. I think it should start the day after Thanksgiving. I'm fine with it starting on Black Friday when people are shopping, if that's what they want, stuff that way. But I don't want it before Thanksgiving.
That's right. On Thanksgiving, you should be playing Thanksgiving music.
Right. And if you don't know what that is, you should come to one of our Name That tunes, because we have playlists for that. But the other thing for us, we a lot of times would leave our Christmas decorations up until February or middle of January. And then as soon as they came down, we decorated for Valentine's Day. So
We don't decorate for Valentine's Day.
yeah, my mom was big on having decorations for all the holidays. So I grew up with the decorations swapping out that way. Not in the summer. We didn't.
Not 4th of July.
I don't remember having 4th of July decorations. Dad would have for Memorial Day, Labor Day, and 4th of July. We have an American flag that he would put out front, outside, just for that day. That's it. That's all I really remember.
Well, so follow us on the socials and definitely let us know what your family's holiday traditions are.
Share some photos of your decorations and food and all of that kind of stuff too. We love to
And
see
for any of
what's
our
going on
friends
out
that
there.
don't celebrate Christmas, if you celebrate,
Yes.
I don't know what all
Merry
of the
Christmas,
other
Kwanzaa, something like that.
Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah, I don't. There's some way to mix them all together, and I don't know how.
What's the thing that the guy from Seinfeld celebrated?
Festivus.
Merry Festivus.
Festivus.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Rock on.
So if there's any other ones out there, if maybe it's Happy Klingon Day. I don't know.
Ooh, Klingon
So
Day.
whatever.
Maybe.
In Canada, they do Boxing Day after Christmas. So
Oh, okay.
have fun with that.
Right. Yeah. I guess I don't know. I'm not well versed.
However you celebrate this time of the year, enjoy the time with your family.
Yes.
Celebrate to your heart's content.
Yes.
Stay safe if you have to travel.
Yes.
So
All
until
of the
next
things.
time.
We'll see you then. Take care.